Choose one cartoon you want your intro to be inspired by. Only having one will make it more cohesive. I chose The Princess and the Frog. From that, brainstorm the sort of aesthetic or theme you want, as you could go multiple ways. I always do this, and I give a little description of what I want in the final product. From the cartoon I chose, I had two ideas, a vintage cafe theme and a moonlight glam theme. Usually I would choose myself, but this time I had your help, which makes it easier for me as I'm very indecisive, so yeah, thanks for voting. Some people might find music after they edit the footage, but I always find music first, as I like to edit to the beat. As you already know what theme you're going for, you can find music to match. I'm going to look for coffee shop music, which has a jazzy yet chill vibe. I find the majority of my music from aesthetic music channels. I have a video on this which will be helpful to watch. This step can sometimes take hours, but it's essential to get the mood you want. The song I chose is Love Affogato by Rookie and Jazzinuf. Once you have your song, have a listen to it a few times. This will make it easier for you to choose what section will be best. The ideal time span of an intro for me is 7 to 15 seconds. Insert your audio into your editor and cut out the other parts. I personally use iMovie, but there are plenty of other great softwares out there that will provide a similar result, but more on editing later. Sometimes I do a bit of audio editing, for example, changing the speed, adding harmonies or adding sound effects. In this one, I decided to add Tiana's dialogue at the beginning.
Well, Miss Tiana, rough night for tips, but every little penny counts.
Now, we need footage. Use keywords in your searches and try and find the best quality videos you can. Usually, I download videos from YouTube on a YouTube downloader. If I only need a bit of a video, I'll just screen record. Make sure everything you save is related to your theme. So that means I'm only looking for the scenes I described when I was planning. If you're on a computer, compile all your clips in a folder. It'll make it easier for you later on. The first thing you need to do is string video clips together, or in other words, you need to cut the parts you like and put them in within the time span of your audio. This is basically where all my intros are when you take away all the effects, which I'll show you later. I have some tips for when you're doing this first step. 1. Have a storyline or a pattern. This means you shouldn't just put the scenes in any order. Have a think about where you want to place them. As you saw earlier, I made a rough plan in notes of what I wanted to do. Also, though you might have a lot of footage, don't try and cram all of it into a short time span. In fact, I only ended up using 2 videos for this intro. 2. Edit to the beat. Not only is it satisfying to the viewer, it will also help you when you're editing, as new beat changes can guide you with when to insert a new part. 3. You can adjust the speed so a specific segment fits into the time frame you want. This is what it looks like so far. It's mostly complete, besides the subscribe part at the end, which I'll get to soon. However, it's a bit boring, so here are some tricks on how to make it more interesting. I use Keynote, which is a PowerPoint app, to make my own designs, usually using shapes. I do this in literally every video, including this one, as you can see. I decided to make a newspaper article because in the movie, everyone is excited because
Prince Naveen of Meldonia is coming to New Orleans.
And it's on the headline, so it's not completely random. Obviously, you don't have to do a newspaper, but you can still use this editing concept. I'm going to do this with the first part of my intro, which is everything before the beat drop. However, since there are multiple videos, I'm going to copy and paste it into another project and save it as one video, so it will be easier to edit. Now, you just have to choose a base. I'm going to use a plain yellow background. Drag the base into your project and make it the same length as what you want to put on top. Then, drag the video or image you want over the base. Now, if you're on iMovie, click on the icon with a rectangle over a dotted rectangle. Click on Picture in Picture and you'll be able to position it wherever you want, as well as making it bigger or smaller. I also decided to put the subscribe newspaper image on top of the same pale yellow as it rounds it off nicely. Similar to photo editing, you can add filters to your video to give a different effect. You might have seen me do this quickly to the yellow background for the picture in picture tutorial. I usually apply the same filter on the whole intro so it gives the same sort of vibe. That's why I made it one video so it's easy to do this. On iMovie, click on the color palette icon and experiment with saturation, temperature, exposure, contrast and more. You don't need to change it that much to create a different effect, so don't go overboard. Do what you think fits your theme best. Those famous glitchy stars, butterflies or VHS effects are green screen overlays. They're basically animations which you can put over your video. The green disappears once you edit it. If you have an idea, search it up on YouTube and I guarantee it will come up. Otherwise, I recommend looking at aesthetic green screen overlay packs, which have a variety you can use all in one video. How you do it on iMovie is similar to how you do picture-in-picture, but instead you click on green/blue screen. Unfortunately, iMovie only allows one overlay, so if you want multiple, you'll have to export the video and insert it into your editor over and over again to keep adding more green screens. And that's it! Using these techniques, you can make your intro more complex. I did some research and I put together a table of which apps have each feature. Hopefully I got it right. Obviously, how you do it is different on different editors, but if you want to learn how to do it on yours, you can watch some tutorials on YouTube, as I can't really show you guys how to do every single one in this video. Put the text, in this case your channel name, how you want it on a green background. I do this on Phonto. You can play around with size, colour, fonts, spacing, shadows and outlines. Save your image. Then choose an app to animate your text. For example, if you wanted a glitchy effect, you would use a VHS app. The app I use for the wavy effect is Megaphoto. My favourite ones are 129, 305 and 834. Screen record the movements you want. Finally, put the screen recording over the intro template as a green screen overlay and the green will disappear, leaving the animated text.
Well, Miss Tiana, rough night for tips, but every little penny counts. Well, Miss Tiana, rough night for tips, but every little penny counts.
And that's it! Remember that it's okay if your intro doesn't turn out as good as you hoped. Editing is hard, even for me. Luckily, I've been editing since I was a teeny weeny child, but that's not the case for everyone. I will say this though, you can only improve with practice, so if you do want to get better, that's what you have to do. If you do end up making an intro, that is great. Mention me in your description box at Isabella Chandra, because then it'll appear in my inbox and I would love to see it. Hopefully, hearing my voice isn't too weird. But anyways, have a great day and I love you all so much.